are not here. Okay, now I'm recording. Before I get started, I also want to take a minute to introduce a few people on our call that are outside of Illinois. One of those people is Heather Gillette. She's joining us from Washington, and she has a special position. Do you want to tell us what your job is?
Yeah, so when you say Washington, it's Washington State, not Washington, D.C. So I'm west of all of you. And I am a member of the National PTA Membership Committee. So I'm a volunteer like all of you, but I am on this national committee, and I am here to support Kristen in her job at the state level and support the other states at the state level as well for membership. And as well as that, I am also a national PTA board member. And so I have duties, volunteer duties that align with that as well. But I like the membership committee. It's really where a passion of mine is. And I appreciate the opportunity to listen in and just see what you all are doing in Illinois.
It's fun talking to you. It's like, what time is it in there? Meredith, I want to give a quick shout out because I know you're joining us from Nevada.
I am. So Heather is not as far west of everyone as she thinks she is. I'm on the state board in Las Vegas for Nevada PTA. And so, I'm the VP of membership. And so I am looking to steal ideas so that I can repeat this in our state.
Feel free. Everything's shareable. I don't keep anything to myself. No copyright. Not a PTA. Copyright.
Yeah, I'm putting together resources from the national campaign and trying to figure out what gets people excited and engaged. So how can I keep it going?
Yes. Wow. And our last person I don't want to introduce, well, I probably have a few other, but Matthew Rodriguez is a past Illinois state president. So if you want to say anything else, for those people who weren't in your breakout room.
Hi, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Really passionate about the subject. And I also serve on the national board and am president of the Illinois Advocates for Children here as a local unit.
And I'll shout out really fast. Darvel, you're going to come into play later too. Darvel Stinton is our, you're just Leadership and Development Director. Is that the title? I'm horrible.
Yeah, that's it.
Leadership and Development.
We'll go with that one right now.
So he's one of our state supports. And then Catherine, who we found out was Galaxy. I fixed her. She's also on the state board with us and is what Chicago district are you?
Chicago Region Director.
Region Director, okay.
Chicago,
I get all the titles confused. That's why I need Cliff Notes. I need a piece of paper that says everyone's names on it because I always forget. Because I don't see them every day. Okay, enough of me. Well, not really, enough of this. Moving on, because you're still stuck with me. So I'm going to go back to screen sharing. I got it all worked out and figured out. By trade, I am an educator, so I am on Zoom literally like 8 hours a day. So this is my baby. And if it looks weird that I'm looking over, is because I'm working on dual monitors. So at times I'll have 4 screens open. So it's kind of fun being like, I'm definitely an air traffic controller. Like I kind of get it now, Matthew. Like I got everything going on, all the kids bouncing all over. Multiple breakout rooms, I'm good. So in the handouts I sent you, you should have received, let me escape for a second and show you those handouts. Oops, nope, wrong button. Exit this really fast. I might have stopped my screen sharing. So sorry about that. Let me share this. I sent everyone a handout page. So don't feel that you have to rush to write anything down. All of the links are in the handout page. So you just get to sit back and enjoy the ride and kind of go through a little tour. And then later on, you're like, oh, what was she saying? I got you covered. It's in the handout page for you. So yeah, kind of natural teacher feel, right? All right, so let's go back to the actual presentation. Because the one thing I found out is it's kind of difficult with the websites because there's so much information on each page that it's hard. You get distracted and then I'll scroll really fast and then it's like everyone's like, whoa, slow down. So that's why you have it all here. A couple things to start with. If you have not seen, there is the National PTA promo videos. The first video is the one that came out in June. It's the membership launch campaign. It's about a 2-minute long video. Now, Heather, you have to help with this. I could not find this on YouTube. They did do a 30-second Facebook video that came out in January, but I only found it on Facebook. So I don't know if it's accessible off of Facebook.
That's a very good question. Thank you for throwing me one I don't know the answer to.
But it's something to think about, that if it's not accessible, that like, you know, if people want to share it, they have to have a Facebook account to have access to it.
Exactly.
So
Is
Yeah.
it on, do you, and you looked on the National PTA membership campaign page and it's not there?
mm-mm.
Okay, because it used to be. They must have removed it because of all the
Right.
other stuff.
Yeah, that's the tricky part, is things change too. So that happens. But we'll talk about the Facebook page in a minute anyways. But for sure, the membership launch video is on that page. I sent Heather on a mission. She's on a goose chase now. All right, speaking of the National PTA page, there's a ton of more resources than there were before. There's the Grow Your PTA in a Virtual World. There's Building PTA in the Virtual World. At the bottom, there are 2 videos. There's strategies for K through 6 and strategies for middle school. So they're both 15-minute mini workshops that you can view. It's on the same page. It's just, I scroll down so that you could know that they were there. Like I said, there's a lot of information on each page. So take your time and just hunt around. It's tricky because National has so many resources and they're not on the same spots. So I was trying to give you all of the keys and all the landing pages for as much as I could. Lead a PTA virtually also has lots of other great resources. As you can see right away in the title, it says COVID-19 pandemic. So right away in your face, it's pulling examples across the country of what people have done virtually and tools and tricks. More resources. All of the campaign materials, if you're not familiar with any of the campaign materials, they're all found under the membership campaign, which there's the video for the noun, PTA is a noun. I could not get oops, sorry, I saw a chat come in. I gotta find it again. I could not get the Zoom background to download on this computer, but I only tried, and I only spent a few minutes trying, so I maybe eventually could have figured out, but I'm also on a computer that I might not have access to it. So those are a little bit tricky, but I did find a different image. So you always can find an image to download on. Let's see, what else do we have? There is the membership page. So there's a membership campaign page, and then there's the membership page, which is in the local leaders kit. Like I said, there's lots of different pages and lots of things. So you'll find membership like dispersed throughout the website. Another great resource, which has more membership information, is the National Learning Courses. If you have not checked these out, I highly recommend it because it has just about anything you want to know, and they're all done really short courses. And I know since Darvel's on the call, he can speak about it too, that Illinois PTA is moving toward using these as our primary courses. Darvel, do you want to speak about that for a second?
Yeah, sure. Real briefly. Back to what I was saying in the breakout room, we decided that we would make things a little bit more simpler as far as leadership development. So National PTA, with that being our umbrella, has already just laid out a whole full digital library of leadership resources that we could use for our leadership development program. So it's been a slow process, but in anything that's great, it takes some time to build that back up. So we're moving forward now to start getting ourselves familiar with the basic courses that we would offer that's required by our officers as they take a new position, as far as like your president's course, secretary's course, treasurer's course, stuff like that. So we're getting more familiar with that. So that way we can use this as a tool when we're doing our in-person classes and courses also. So it's like Kristen said, it's a lot of information, but everything's not in one place. So we're going through it with a fine-tooth comb, and we're even getting ready to branch out into a new series starting February 4th, which will be our next virtual series titled It's Thursday, Let's Talk. And we're looking to pull a few courses and topics from National PTA's e-learning courses to premiere those in our upcoming virtual series. So look out for that information coming real soon, sooner than I expected. I'm normally kind of slow on my work, but I got somebody that's mentoring me real good, and I've been sending out quite a few emails at 5 o'clock in the morning. So be ready. be ready for that information. Right. Be ready for the information within the next 48 to 72 hours.
So that's and what we're like, I'm also part of my local unit PTA, and we've discussed that as new people come in, treasurer, secretary, the e-courses are the place to go to, especially for like minutes. You know, it's really nice. There's a really quick secretary course on how to take minutes. So it's definitely something to lean on. You do have to sign in, you get a certificate and stuff. So it's really kind of official. So that's also on the page. All right. Additional resources Heather gave me, and I threw these at the last minute at 5:30 today, but it was all okay because I'm like, I can make this happen. So she also suggested that we include, there are family resources on the page, and I added another one too that's newer that people might not know about, is the Center for Family Engagement, and they have a podcast as well. So if you ever have a parent that goes, well, what do you do for parents? There's a whole list of different wealth of information that PTA has for families, and it's always constantly being updated. And then as well as the diversity, equality, and inclusion, which is always something we need to strive for in PTA, is that our PTAs look like the people we serve. That's been a long time push, and always one that I'm looking for. So that is all National PTA in kind of a nutshell, except for Facebook. There are some really strong Facebook pages that if you do not belong to, you want to make sure you follow. One is the National PTA's page, as well as National PTA has a local PTA local leaders closed group. If you're ever looking for an idea and you don't know where to go, join this group, because someone's probably asked it. Like, you'll be like, oh, what could I do for Valentine's Day? Oh, can I give out gift cards? Like, just search the topics. Someone's always piping up about something on there. So it's been a really nice way to get leaders across the country talking. And then if you don't know where to go, they usually help steer you in the right direction or help you find someone that can do that.
And they're on there nonstop too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a conversation go long, like at 3 o'clock in the morning for 45 minutes. So.
You've been on there too, Matthew?
Can I make a plug for the National PTA Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Facebook page as well?
Oh, I'm not part of that one. Yes, please do.
Okay. Yeah, we've got one as well.
I'm adding it to my list. So what is the full name of it, Matthew? You brought it up. You got to find it now.
Dropped you. Sorry. Sorry.
It's okay. You have time.
It's the National PTA Diversity and Inclusion Outreach.
There you go. Yep. She beat me to it.
Oh.
National PTA Diversity Out.
I can add that to our handout page too before we officially just know I can update it still. So you guys can go back and click it again and it will have the update on it. So I'll add that to our resources as well. I'm glad the sharing's always good because I don't always know all the other aspects that are out there. For Illinois' purposes, we have, of course, the Illinois PTA page, which is just the main landing site of information that gets pushed out. And then this year, I helped start an Illinois PTA membership leader page that's specifically for Illinois, so that we can have some Illinois conversation on there. So if you have not joined that one, please do. Both the PTA local leaders and the Illinois PTA membership leader page are private groups. So you do have to ask security questions, and I don't let people in if they don't answer them, because I'm like, if you're not going to tell me what PTA you're part of, you're out. Because I don't want people trolling that don't need to be there. Oh, the other thing that is coming out soon, which I have at the bottom of the page, are in the national campaign, there is a handout that says proof points of what you could say to people about why to join PTA. And it was requested from a member that we had Illinois specific proof points. And so those I'm hoping will anticipate to be out by the beginning of February. And so on the Illinois page, and as soon as they're out, I'll push them out on our Facebook pages as well, that you'll have your own set of proof points that are Illinois specific of community education and advocacy that has been done in Illinois that you can speak to. So when people ask you why, you have some backbone to it.
Mhm.
All right, that is a wrap of all of the resources I have to give you and like pour in. We do have a couple people that have joined us from some PTAs. I don't think anyone from Sandburg has joined us. I reached out to some PTAs in the area who had really high membership numbers and asked them to give us some information or join the call and speak about what they've done or continue to do to help out and grow their membership. So Sandburg Middle School PTA, they were our winner of the Chromebook that we had a contest in September. These are what their notes are of how they, what they did to increase membership and have membership. They definitely are in a strong area. They have, I think on average, like 400 members, and that's pretty stable. They also have very strong community support. So they have a weekly newsletter, they have Facebook posts, there's online registration links. Oh, that should be directory. I was like director, sorry, I deleted the Y. There's a school directory, but you have to be a PTA member to access the school directory. And they also publicize their events before and after the events to showcase that. Thomas PTA from Arlington, their membership, a lot of the PTAs that I saw a commonality is what people get for their membership. Oh, this was interesting, is their membership, from what I understood, was linked to like the fees, the registration fees at the school. So I know some PTAs have it like a line item under their kids' registration. Here's your school registration and here's your PTA. So they just kind of automatically pay into it. And that's definitely a strong partnership you would have with the schools. They had online and drop-off payments. Membership chair was given a list of all the students, and the membership chair emailed all the non-members. Facebook posts, membership benefits. They had if you were a member, you had a yearbook. Yet again, there was a link to a directory, local business discounts, and then they had a teacher liaison who went and like hunted down all the staff, which is helpful if you have someone that can do that for you. That's where those had. And then we have Lincoln PTA, and we have people from Lincoln PTA. If they want to rock, paper, there we go. You guys are even next to each other on my screen. You can like rock, paper, scissors, who wants to talk?
Well, I'll let Michelle talk. I'm the president of Lincoln PTA, but Michelle is our membership chair and also president of our PTA council here in Elmhurst. So she's the local guru on that.
Yeah, so Lincoln has typically always had very strong membership. And as you can see from some of the schools on here, Elmhurst in general does do very well with PTA participation. A lot of our tactics are probably similar to other schools in terms of, constant communication and follow-up. We do the initial membership campaigns and then do kind of individualized emails to people who may have forgotten and need just a little bit of a nudge. We also have the benefits of, you have to be a member to get onto directory spot and get our newsletter, which, are always pretty big consolations to join. However, I do membership, but I have to give, Jennifer and the executive board credit for really helping our membership kind of be connected to the PTA and connected to our causes. I think in today's day and age, it's very important to kind of have that connection and feel invested in what you are participating in and what you are giving money to. And Jennifer and her board have always been, have done a great job of explaining where the money goes to and, how we're supporting our children, supporting, local and national PTAs, and really making people feel like those dollars are making a difference. And especially in today's day and age, with COVID, I think that becomes even more important. So, I give our board credit, and obviously it's a lot of, as the PTA council president, I see a lot of our schools in Elmhurst being able to do that. The days of raising money just to raise money for PTAs are gone. And I think people are doing a great job of really honing in on what those dollars do to support our memberships. Kristen, you're muted, I think.
There we go. It's talking to me. The little one was behind me. I was like, oh. So it definitely, it makes sense too. I think the one thing that's hard right now is PTA is not a household name anymore. And I think in Elmhurst, it's had such a strong tie to the community that people are like, oh yeah, it's PTA. They don't even need an explanation. Whereas other parts of the state and the country, PTA, they have no clue what any of it means. So that's definitely, I think, a battle. And that's why I believe the membership campaign came out so strong, because it's not as common known of the term anymore. And then we had Hawthorne PTA, which is also an Elmhurst PTA. And they had more than half their families join, and several staff. Again, they had access to that directory spot. It's a directory for the entire staff and provides family and staff emails. So it sounds like that's a big in Elmhurst right now, is that directory spot and being able to access that. All right, so what do you want? All right, so that is, I'm gonna exit here. All right, I lost my screen sharing button somewhere. Like all of my Zoom tools went away somewhere.
They went on vacation.
They did go on vacation, and I don't know where they went.
Bye.
Which is rather interesting.
I think I know.
Where do you think they
I
are?
gotta go bottom, maybe.
I know, they're not there.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on either.
I'm weird man.
So, okay, you can go now.
I'm Ocean Man, but I don't know.
He's PTA grandchild.
I know.
Hi, Matthew.
No, I've just been chilling over there.
All right, let me see if I can, hold on. If I close this, hold on, let me minimize this, and I should be able to stop screen sharing. Did it stop the screen share? This is really bizarre. I've had some tricks on this, like I can't figure out.
I see them on the side. They're on the side, Christian. I see them on the side. But I guess if you go down and put it, I don't know.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like, it's, I've lost all the functionality on my, like I use Zoom all day long and like my whole toolbar is gone.
It's probably tired.
It's retired,
It's
which
probably
is
tired.
fine. Let it retire. I'm like, I can't.
The computer probably tired.
Or if one participant tries to screen share, then it should stop mine because I haven't enabled that anyone can screen share. I don't care what you screen share. Since I'm locked out, it's really weird. The whole toolbar just like went away. I'm like, okay, this, yeah, because it's showing that I'm still sharing.
Yeah, I see the I see the question and answer. I see that that's there.
Yeah, but I want it to go away, and I don't know. It's
I
not.
know. Okay.
I have no functionality to make it go away.
What?
And mine says can't screen share when others are screen sharing.
Does it say that? I thought I took it off.
Yeah. It says you cannot start screen share while other participant is sharing.
She got to close it out.
Well, I started to share and then I canceled thinking that might reset you, but it apparently didn't.
We can try one
And
more
you can't
time.
you can't close it out.
Well,
But
I don't want to.
I'm just sharing the national PTA page right now. So do you guys see that?
No, it's just a question
No.
and answer.
Oh,
No.
What
I don't know who I'm sharing to then.
I don't know what setting this has, but like, I'm like, this is not my normal Zoom. Anyways, okay.
Zoom.
So we'll go question answer in a second, since it's all me asking questions right now.
Okay,
We-
there you go.
Some updates that are coming up, and then I'll ask my questions since I can't like do any more polls because I can't find them. And then I can close the page.
Weird.
One thing I just saw that National PTA has a reflection showcase tomorrow night.
Mhm.
So if you have not seen some of the reflection winners, I highly suggest viewing that or the video. And then Jarvel plugged his spot for the February Let's Talk. It's the first and the third Thursdays of the month. So that information is coming soon. LegCon is open, which is virtual this year. If you haven't ever attended that, that would be something to attend. And then Illinois PTA has their virtual convention on the 22nd and 24th. The registration is coming soon for that. Thanks for attending. So I'm gonna close everything out now. So if you want anything, then I'll close the whole thing. And so, all right. Now all my tools came back. Now I can see the chat. Okay. Oh my goodness. So what we're doing, oh, I can do my poll. Yes. I don't know where that tool went. Okay, here's your new poll. This is a personal question poll I had. How do you like to receive PTA communication?
Oh. Uh-oh. Your website, Facebook. Remember her. I'd like to see. Oh, wait. Remember her? Can I only do one?
I think so. I think I locked it into
Okay.
one.
Okay,
And
one.
are you asking receive communication from our PTA
Or the state.
or from the state?
Let me say state. Let me go
Okay.
clarify and say state. Interesting.
Hmm.
Oh, got a few more. All right, I'll end polling.
It was hard to
So-
choose just one.
I know. Yeah.
Well, but that's the important part, and that's something I'm sharing results. There you go. You can see the results hopefully now. That's one thing I wanted to
Okay.
know as a PTA leader is sometimes we only had like one form of communication. But if Facebook and Member Hub email is not what's making people look, then we shouldn't be, how do we communicate with that? So communication is personal email.
Mm.
So
I
That
think the member hub emails are difficult, that a lot of people wind up getting them into their spam folders and don't have them automatically checked to keep getting them. That's what I'm hearing.
Mm.
Oh, I got an email about that, and I'm like, go check spam. Oh, there it is.
sure. I can understand
Sure.
that completely.
Mm.
So I'm going to give a little bit of time. I do have one more final question before I let everyone go. But before that final question, did any of you have questions to ask each other about how has this worked, or I'm struggling with this, or any questions in that regard?
I have a question. I was
Go for
wondering
it.
if someone could recommend for new members and then also for new board or officers, is there like a how-to packet or welcome to PTA, still like an overall, like a general thing? I'm trying to create something specifically for our PTA, but I was wondering if there's like a good starting point, like document that I could use.
Like get to know PTA in general, like they don't have any.
Yeah, like a get to know PTA, and then specifically for somebody who's going to be a new officer, this is the steps you should, this is the classes that you should take, go here. And this is, just something to like help us along, because I kind of had to figure out my own way. And then based on what I learned, I was trying to put something together, but I was thinking it might be easier if there's already something available. I just wasn't aware of it.
New later.
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that. We just had our state board meeting over the weekend, and one of the breakout rooms that I was in, that conversation did come up of presenting like a jump start or a catch up type list of things where, it's just rather than the basics of bylaws, the basics of policy and procedure, but everybody, even myself, you just need that quick start manual. How you get a brand new desk and you have the whole manual, then they show you quick start, or for your cell phones. So that conversation did come up. So that is something that we're looking at to bring back. I remember at one time we did have that with like our local unit packets. So that's a point that was brought up, and I'm glad you brought that up. So that way we can, reiterate that that's a discussion that we've had, and you can look for that in the near future as just that quick start, jump start type, where you just have the basic bottom items to get you started. You're not in violation. You got everything covered, and then you can work on, your specifics through the course of the school year. So yeah, that's
yeah. So it's like step one, join. Step two,
exactly.
This is the next thing to do. Yeah.
Join. Dues, bylaws, your insurance and stuff like that. So yeah, that's something that's
strongly recommend looking at the e-learning courses, because those courses are quick. And it gives you a really nice overview of like why PTA is important to me. It's a 2-minute video. So they can go through that pretty fast. So I would highly recommend just like it tells you local PTA presidents' roles and responsibilities, secretaries' roles and responsibilities, treasurers' workshops, board basics. So looking at those e-learning courses, I think it's a good place to start. Meredith, you had another one too, the YPTA.
Yeah, the YPTA PDFs at the national website. I find that we get a lot of people that all of a sudden are a local leader, and the only thing they know about PTA is the stuff that they saw the previous PTA doing, that they were putting on an event or a fundraiser or whatever. And they don't even realize that now they're elected and they're an officer and they're responsible for a business and they're responsible. They don't know that side of things because they only know what they saw. And so I think the YPTA takes them into the bigger picture of the advocacy side and how we're trying to help children succeed. Push out the mission statement, because I think for a lot of people, that step gets bypassed. All of a sudden they're trying to write minutes and they have no idea what the mission statement even is.
Yeah. And see, I know, and I had found a lot of these resources, but it felt like it took a lot of effort on my part, and I'm somebody who puts more effort in than most. So that's why I was kind of looking for something like a one-stop shop, like bam, new member, bam, you want to be an officer, like just because I feel like it's, I mean, especially now it's hard to feel motivated when we're virtual like this.
Yeah.
But then also, even before that, it was hard to get people on the sites, and even I would get a little frustrated, like, okay, how many pages do I have to go through to find what I'm looking for? So I think that was where I was, maybe it was just, maybe the website structure or something just needs to be slightly more user friendly. There's a lot of information, but I think for me, it was difficult to sift through all of it.
What can, Chris, you also have PTA Road to Success. And PTA Road to Success start with the president, vice president, secretary. It has in each officer what you has to do, has all information in there. They're telling you about the roles of each officer, what they're supposed to do. That's a good start too. That's a good start too. It show you all the information in one package. PTA
Road to Success. Okay.
Yeah, that's our Illinois course.
Yeah.
And the tricky part with that is it's not always offered when you need it, is what I found as a local leader. So using the e-courses at the National PTA website lets people do it when they have time. And then,
okay, so the national one is whenever you want versus the state one is only at specific times.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
The e-learning courses are all webinars. So you can click on them anytime you want and go on anytime you want. So you could have your you could do one together as your whole board. You can do one just as like, okay, you're the treasurer. Make sure you go online and take these treasurer courses. And as Darvell was saying before, the PTA has staff that helps write these courses. And if anything changes, especially when treasurer and with the treasurer or money, we don't always know those changes right away. So it's a little bit tricky versus national has those updates constantly. So it's better to have the most current information, especially our old PTA courses and with treasurer would talk about, paper bank accounts. We hardly ever use, almost all PTAs have some kind of debit or online account now, and it's a different world. So National has kept up with that faster than Illinois can write it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Any other help or questions anyone had or ideas that worked really well with their membership?
I know, I'll have to remember, I think it was in our kickoff for our region. Maybe it was our unit or our council, I can't remember, but they provided like a month by month checklist of like, hey, in August, you need to be, you need to do this, you need to start planning the, these things.
Okay.
And then in September, okay, you need to do these things and start planning for these things. So that's helpful. I don't know where mine is right now, but it was it was helpful to have, especially at the beginning of the year, to make sure, because there's so many moving parts in the August, September timeframe.
That would be great if you can remember where that is, because that's something I like to plan ahead and to know what to expect.
Yeah. So, Kristen, if I can track it down and email it to you, can you share it back out to everybody?
And you should have everyone's email as well, because when I sent it should be on there with the handouts. And I know exactly, I had one of those too. I'm not sure where that's located. I would have to dig through my things. But I can ask the office as well, and I'm sure Darvell could help with it too, because that was part of some of the older training materials. I think it came out with the president's course. Is the president's course had a month timeline, but I think it's on National PTA somewhere too, but I have to do a little hunting for it. I don't know where it is offhand.
Christian, I don't know if somebody did that personally, because I have an old list too. That's what Dr. Gaynor was asking for, a list like that to show you when everything is. I told her, like you said, when the schools was closed, it had, the treasurer has all that on the the treasure thing, when it's due, then the first month due is October. That's the list. Yeah, I don't know if somebody made it up or what, but we used to have it.
It was part of our training. Yes. I just have to see if we can locate it. And that's not a problem. We can push that out. Which it might be something we want to always include on our website as well. Like, okay, here's your monthly PTA to-do list. It's out there. Don't recreate it.
Yeah, it is. So
you just need to ask and we can find it for you. All right, total side note, and some of you will laugh and giggle about this. I talked to my mom this weekend and she pulled out all of her, Catherine's already laughing. She pulled out all of her courses she wrote from probably 96. So I was like, okay, Mom, I don't think you need those anymore, but she wanted to keep some of it. So
they might come in handy.
Like, here was a policy procedure.
Some of the information, Christian, might be still coming handy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we still have.
I don't know, 96, I wasn't even a parent. I was just still volunteering other people's kids and get rid of them and fill them up with candy and stuff like that. 96. Oh, wow. You're gonna make me walk around the block now and get my mind together.
Okay.
I was serving PTA in 96. I was treasurer of my PTSA. I was already there.
I still have stuff from the 30s from the state PTA in my house.
Oh my God.
But on a side note, I wanted to share that this week, the Early Learning Center, which is our 3- and 4-year-old preschool here in Schaumburg, the principal did something really cool because we were having trouble reaching out to the parents. via just email, because a lot of those parents are first-time parents, so they don't know what PTA is with the little guys, the 3 and the 4-year-olds. So we were able to kind of give them a hook, kind of like when you do events at the school and you get the parents in first to do your PTA meeting and then have like the concert or the event or sports before you can. So this principal this week, she invited all of the students from the school to do a good night story for all the little people. They were so super cute. They were instructed to wear their favorite pajamas and bring their favorite toy or stuffed animal, whatever is close to them. And we were able to talk to them about, hey, join the PTA. This is what we do, and this is, how we support the school. And then so we have all the parents there actively listening, and then the principal ended up reading the story to all of the parents. So I thought that was a really good hook to get all of our new parents that don't know what PTA is. So hopefully you guys can think of somewhere around those with some of the upper grades that you guys have.
Nothing better than your principal reading you a story before bed. Like, those are all the sweet stories. It's amazing where PTA has come and like what we can do now. And we've had workshops, but now since more people are comfortable with Zoom, this is just something we can build in our repertoire of, okay, if you can't come to a meeting, you don't have an excuse. Can you Zoom in? We can Zoom in, Facebook Live it for you.
Yeah.
Any other questions that we can help answer? We're gonna get Kelly all hooked up. So she's gonna get hooked up. So what region are you in, Kelly? Or area?
I'm in Villa Park.
Oh, okay.
All right. We'll make sure you get your things you need. One
Yes.
more question I had additionally for the group is, if you were to attend another membership training, what is something you're looking for that we didn't cover, or something you think people should see again? Like, I'm putting you on the spot, so if you wanted to email me later, we're looking to do a membership training at convention, and I'm got ideas, but I want to streamline it because it's only about a 45-minute chunk. So if there's anything you can think of that would be helpful that you would like to hear, or
Well, oh,
silence, nothing.
For me, I would probably, in my head, I'm looking to go with like the story Matthew just told about how you incorporated the what is PTA before, and how to incorporate asking for membership at every opportunity. I think a lot of our units miss that they do their membership drive at the beginning of the year and that's kind of the end of it. And maybe they have, things over in the corner that you can sign up. But I think including the join ask in everything, as how do you incorporate it without making it feel like you're beating them over the head with joining?
That's an interesting concept, just to do like a membership, just a short workshop all about different ways people ask to join PTA. The membership ask, and that maybe is not the best way, but or the best verbiage, but that ask part of making sure, like you were saying, like you liked hearing Matthew's story. If I could ask PTAs, what was your story of getting members? What is the hook? And then just make it a big idea sharing so they can plan out for next year of all these little snippets. Go ahead, Matthew.
If I could ask, I don't know if you have to do an entire workshop, but what's the best way to communicate with parents these days? I mean, we've got so many virtual tools, not only Zoom, but Google Meets, and there's all these other ones that I've never even heard of before because I'm having problems with just Zoom. So what is the best way people want to be communicated with right now? Like you just did the survey with the email, which I find very interesting. Yeah, there's so many options.
And it's really tricky per platform, per school. So like my son's school, they have Seesaw and everything comes through Seesaw. And I get a message from the principal. I get a message from the teachers. Whereas the middle school level, same district, middle school level, they use Infinite Campus. And then I get the phone calls, I get the emails. So, and then it's on an app. So it's tricky of what communication method to push out to members. Yeah, that's a great part of the topic.
And Matthew hit on a good point. Matthew, on a good point. And we need to understand why are you, the purpose of the value of PTA, and like I said, why PTA, national, why PTA. You understand the benefit. You advocate, advocacy, you advocate on for your child. You advocate to get better resources at your school. You advocate to get better resources in your community. It's not about, everybody think it's just a bake sale, cookie sale. It's not. I tell people it's not just that. We get a lot of things done. You know, go to Springfield, we advocate for a lot of stuff. They need to understand what it's all about, what PTA all about. And now we need to meet the parents, Matthew, now, meet the parents where they at now. We have to go to them or have something to invite them, a social kind of, you know, thing, not popping and drinking again, but a social event or something now, because people are really going through with this remote learning. People are stretched out right now. So we got to meet them where they at, bring them something calm, you know, maybe collected or so. I don't know, have a talk like we, you know, like I said, they're gonna do the let's talk. Let's have something, you know, let's discuss or whatever, you know. You stressed out, what's going on? You know, I don't know. We got, you know, it's something like that. I'm trying to put it together, but you know.
Yeah, you brought up a good point, Catherine. Since COVID, I said that earlier, since COVID hit, it has taught people to depend on a lot of resources.
Yeah.
And the main resource was use of technology. Zoom, I wouldn't have never, I mean, I was familiar with GoToMeetings, and last time I did a Skype was maybe like 2016, 17-ish or whatever. And even then it was always glitchy. It would freeze up and that kind of stuff. But now, you know, in the IT world, they're building bigger servers. They're building bigger cellular towers, regardless to what you hear in the world. They wouldn't build it if it wasn't safe. But you know, we've got a bigger resource, just like with Zoom. I'm a parent liaison at the high school that I'm the president of the PTSA. So I'm wearing double hats. Within the last 48 hours, we've posted our upcoming PTA meeting, a Zoom link, and our upcoming parent advisory meeting, Zoom link. Within 48 hours, we have quadrupled our attendance in both meetings through Zoom than we can get in person. So we're talking about both meetings, maybe 20-ish, 25 people that'll show up from a high school of 2,200 students. So that's on average, maybe 2,200 parents, give or take. So with social media and outlets like Zoom, like I said, both meetings within 48 hours, we've quadrupled our attendance. And that's amazing. So I'm looking at the fact that we still haven't sent out our robocalls or our mass emails from the school. This is all coming from just social media. Posting it on the PTA page, the parent advisory page, and both of those meetings posted on our school website and the school Facebook page. And that was tremendous. I'm just glad we got a license where we can have at least up to 300 people on Zoom.
That's good.
I was getting excited to where it's like, man, if I could just get 30 people between both meetings, I'm good, you know. And the email's just been popping off all day. So it's a great tool. Technology is here. It's here to stay. These different outlets are here to stay, which has caused me to do maybe like a membership campaign for next year, and just have a recorded Zoom type membership drive where we got it linked to our member hub where they can send their payment in electronically. One of the tips that I did last year coming in as president, because we're a PTSA and the S is for students. So my membership drive was to get more males involved if I could. It was like pulling teeth from a lion, but I targeted students because I figure a lot of students are not musicians. A lot of students are not athletes. A lot of students are musically inclined or whatever, but they are a part of something within
Yes.
the school that falls up under the branch and the umbrella of what PTA does, from
Mhm.
legislative advocacy to reflections. We entered our first reflections last year for the first time in 10 years at that school.
Okay.
So
Oh,
that was a target.
that's
I
good.
was able to get at least 15 students
Hmm.
to become members, and they utilized the program very well between applying for scholarships, whether they got them or not. They just felt like that was something else extra that they could look forward to in, you know, putting on their applications for college or whatever.
That's good.
We have an art program, we have culinary. So like I said, I target the unusual students, the students that are
Exactly.
involved in stuff that pertain to PTA. And
Exactly.
they took advantage of it. And we had a
That's
lot of
good.
parents, it was like, well, especially my freshman parents, they was like, well, what is PTA? And, you know, I
Mhm.
explained it to them. I
Yeah.
sold it to them like, you know, a car dealership with
Mhm.
a nice painted up lemon, but it's got a raggedy engine, and just get it out the driveway
Mhm.
and you're good.
Exactly.
But this has value.
That's
You know,
good.
this holds value after it
Mhm.
leaves the parking
Yes, it
lot.
does.
So I sold it,
Mhm.
and a lot of parents they ate it up. Whether they just said, well, here's my $8 and here's my son's $8,
Mhm.
and whether they showed up at a meeting or not, they made sure that their
Exactly.
student that was a member showed up. I had a lot of members that student members that took advantage of the community hours service
Okay.
that
Yeah.
they needed
Mhm.
for community service, and
Mhm.
they ate it up. You know, Mr. Stinson, are you going to be at the football game? Yeah, I'll be there. Can you get me in? Sure. You know, and once I got them in, you know, they
Hook
show
'em
their
in. Yeah.
ID.
Yeah.
Here's a box of taffy apples. I need you to go in the
Mhm.
stands, sell the taffy apples, bring me the
Okay.
money back. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. So how many boxes I got to do? Just one box. You do one box, I'll sign off for 10 hours of your community service. You're good.
Good.
But I
Mhm.
saw that where a lot of students use that as their tool. So
Mhm. Yeah.
some of them they're into legislative advocacy. I
Mhm.
targeted a group of students that had organized when they had the walkout for a couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
years ago for school,
Mhm.
you know, school safety and school shootings. So I targeted those students because they have that voice. You know,
Mhm.
they weren't afraid to go to the school board and talk up about their concern for school safety and how they wanted to organize a walkout. And
Mhm.
the school board worked with them rather than to push them out the door and say, "You're kids, you don't know anything about that. That's
Mhm.
no importance to you." They welcomed the students and they helped them organize a full, safe, within the rules of ISB and
Mhm.
you know, the school district, help them organize something to advocate for their voice. So I targeted those students, and it worked out well. It worked out real well. But it's it's a true saying. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no wrong way to PTA. You
Mhm.
just get. I mean,
Exactly.
we
And the
just have,
students have a voice.
like Catherine
Yeah.
said, we just have to keep
Yeah.
selling them
Mhm.
our message, and our message has value. You know,
Mhm. Yes, it does.
it's just not a
Mhm.
fly by night, give me your $5 or give me your $8
Exactly.
and go away. There's wealth in this. There's wealth in this
Mhm.
organization more than people realize. I spent 5 years in PTA before I found out it was past Coolidge Elementary School and, you know,
Yeah.
the bake sales, you know, and volunteering
Okay.
for Secret Santa. When I found out that PTA was past the school, past the four walls, that
Mhm.
there was levels to it, district, region, state,
Yes.
and I'm like, wow,
Mhm.
my $5 go a long way, you know.
And it value.
Right.
And it
But
value. Yeah.
that's when the passion kicked in. You know, the
Yeah.
fun was cool from
Mhm.
kindergarten to fifth grade, but that's when the passion kicked in
Mhm.
because
Yes.
we're part of an organization where there's a small percentage of people that's actually getting paid to do
Yeah.
this. The larger percentage of people are that's giving up a part of their lives every day to
Yes.
and you know to advocate for children. So that's
Yes.
amazing. That's amazing
Mhm.
for
Yes, it is.
you know, and for this to be going on 100 and some years,
Okay.
to watch membership decline
Yeah.
was you know, it was pretty scary, I'm sure,
Yes, it is.
from state to state. But
Mhm.
you know, there's still enough people that are on board about building the membership,
Yeah.
keeping
Yes,
the
it is. Yes,
organization
it
going,
is.
and really have the mission at heart.
Mhm.
So
Yes, it is.
that's it. I'm off my soapbox.
No, that's it. That's good. That's good. PTA value. Yeah.
If anyone, I got some, thank you so much for like spurring the conversation, because I got some ideas of possible way to jumpstart, because, you know, by the time it's April, we'll be looking into what are you going to plan for next year. So I have some ideas of where to start. And yeah, I think my workshop, I get like, I don't know if it's an hour and a half or like 45 minutes. I think it's pretty short. I think it was like 45 minutes or something. So there's not a lot of time to like, you know, do the sharing part. It's kind of got a lot more of that open your mind and pour. So if no one has any other questions, I'll definitely, you know, can stick around for a little bit if you have questions, or hopefully you got some great information. And then thank you for Jennifer and Michelle jumping on and helping share about what they do in Elmhurst. Other than that, as I tell my kids, that's all, folks.
Have a good night.
Thank you.